everybody, and welcome back to everyone's favorite time of the week, their Friday tea time. I'm Teddy Costa, and with me, as always, is
I am Tyler Trudeau. Happy to be here. Happy did not get fired or murdered by any fans. Some people were quite upset. May not be allowed in Brazil going forward, but we are allowed on Friday tea time here on the MLQ Network.
That's right. Yeah. Keep petitioning, do whatever you can to get us off the air. We are the show of the people, but we do appreciate the engagement, however we can get it. So thank you. Thank you very much. And on that note, we are back this week. As Tyler said, we got fresh content. We're still in preseason mode, so we're still, loosey-goosey with it. We are going to put the timer back on because we think that's when we're at our best. At least I hope last week was not our best.
I don't think I can get in as much trouble with the timer, so that's good.
Right, exactly. We'll go, so we're back to our roots a little bit. We're gonna do a fun twist. We love you guys, we do, and we are the show of the people, even if you hate us for it. So, we're gonna keep stepping up our game to bring you the people, the target for this show, the people, the best content imaginable. So, since it's still loosey-goosey preseason wise, we're gonna do receipts because we are a show that holds ourselves accountable,
We're accountable.
more or less.
Always.
But we'll do that before the timer because this week we are going to be doing a new segment where basically Ty and I have 1 minute to break down each roster. So it's going to be a 14-minute timer, and we will just rapid fire through the whole league, our initial thoughts on each team. But first, receipts, Ty. I have a couple of quick L's. We went back and forth about what the list is. If it's a 2024 list, which we talked about in the pre-show, that's how I felt about it. Not having Leanne Dillman and Jackson Johnson on there is insane. Just insane. Like, I know Jackson played a lot of chaser, but I think the fact that Austin underperformed relative to what many expected last season has a lot to do with Jackson and Bailey not in the beater game. So I think Bailey way too low. Leanne, an obvious snub, had all the same stats as Kieran Collier, one of the best beaters in the league, and has been forever. And to have Jackson not on the list as well. Easy snub, quick L for me. I'll take those.
We'll definitely take some criticism there, Teddy, but also they're not playing this year. So, listen, we all know Jackson's chop liver, but, he did beat us at Nationals this year. And, of course, I fully agree with you. I think if Jackson's beaten all year next year, maybe League City only gets one, or now Houston. But you also got to admit, the league's been disrespecting Leanne for years. So, it's no shock that she's off the list. She's just been, the most underrated player for her entire career. So we don't even need to discuss the Leanne snub because we all knew it was coming a mile away anyway.
Yeah,
but either of those people are playing. We don't need to waste our time.
Yeah, okay, I agree. Second thing, I mentioned Leo Fried should elevate Detroit. That's just an obvious L. A guy's first week out, everybody drops passes. That's on me. Obviously playing for New York this season. My bad to both him and Detroit. I will say we did film before rosters were released. So I'd like to rose for the L size. Can we shrink it just a smidge?
Now, before you shrink it too small, I will say I also said the same exact thing. I also maybe even hinted at a Detroit division win. Don't know if we're going that far with Leo there. But, Teddy, to be fair to the people, we did try and get an inside early look at rosters. So we did have the right information possibly available at our fingertips that, yes, was there. So maybe we
allegedly
size of what you already shrunk it to. So
it's a lot of names to look through. All right. The point is, we're getting better. Names. You can't get better every week if you start with your best. And so that's how I'm going to view the first week. All right.
I think we need to take more accountability for cursing every Boston sports team. It seems like we're both, again, not planned. Go Pats.
I swear
Pats
not
can't
planned.
lose tonight. Celtics broke my heart. Congrats to our Knicks fans. That was awful. But the Pats can't lose tonight. Hopefully the Red Sox can salvage something this season. Yes. But anyway, we'll definitely take an L for that for Boston. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. Get better, Tatum. Rest up. All right, here we go. Boston bias aside, we talked about the new segment. We introduced it already. We're gonna get 14 minutes on the clock starting now. All right. So we'll go alphabetical order, east, north, south. Boston, first thoughts. Obviously, you lost Dillman, Doyle, Frollo, Hickman, and others. I think your coaching staff outside of Collier is relatively unproven, but I still expect similar to performance to last season. They'll be carried by their beaters. They still have a great beating core. Only way I see them being worse this year is if their chasers can't gel as well under this new management. That said, I'm excited to see that there's lots of room for the young kids to step up. Shout out to Brown Quadball for that.
I mean, I definitely think that it's still going to run through their beater game. Of course, Kieran injury concerns. We're not sure how much the coach is going to be playing. Hope to see them out there. Obviously, Max and Lulu are going to do Max and Lulu things, and I'm not too concerned about it in that sense. No Skura as well to mention, which is a late drop, which is a devastating former MVP. So I think it's going to be really tough for them to get forward. But we got to move on forward to Charlotte. But I will 1 second to Boston. I think they're going to be worse next year, but I don't think they're going to be at bottom of the division by any means. Charlotte, they are definitely in a spot I think they can grow. And I think we say this every single year. But I mean, Ryan Davis coming back to a Carolina core that is pretty solid. And I'm excited to see what Lee can do, what MY can do. It's going to be a very exciting season for them, I think. And they could, I think, be maybe second.
I like that. I'm also expecting better performance from them based on that core continuing to improve and getting Ricard back as well. But I'm not sure if their record will be better. I still have them as no wins against Boston or New York. I still think they'll sweep Ottawa. I have them maybe winning one against Washington. We'll see how you feel about Washington. But that's my take. I'm not sure that the beating is there to get them past Boston or New York. So I don't see how they can add more wins, even if the performance on the field is better. Moving on to New York, I got a quick thought on this one. They are perfectly poised to repeat, and I hate it. Wrote that into the notes. I hate it, but that's a solid roster.
Yeah, I mean, New York is definitely going to be a juggernaut this year, and I think it's definitely a big thing that Leo's coming back. You have that core from a couple years ago, obviously not the full championship core, but it's very, I think, overlooked right now that Tate isn't coming back as head coach. We're going to see an unproven coach going forward. I don't know how much a confidential playbook that I've already seen that's 50 pages of is going to actually do anything for New York. But I mean, I think it's theirs to lose again this year. I think New York's going back to the top. But you know who's not going to the top or anywhere different from anywhere they've ever been before, ever in the history of everness, is the Ottawa Black Bears. And that was a little like rough, but guess what? It's been rough watching them play for every single 10 years that we have been doing this sport. So that's all I have to say about that. Another completely sweep.
Yeah,
No
I'm excited to see Wadike continue to improve. I think he's a great talent. We'll see where that goes. I think this will be another squad that will work hard but won't win any games. All right, we'll move on to Washington. Ty, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm having a hard time saying they'll be any better. If anything, maybe a game worse if Charlotte can put the development together. I love the frisky duo of Mulcahy and Stars. I think they'll play Boston really close all three games, and I still think they get swept. What are your thoughts?
You know, I think that this division, minus New York, has gotten a lot closer in the middle. So I think it's a nice Ottawa sandwich with New York on top for the Kaiser roll, if you will. And all in the middle, it could be any order, I feel like, of Washington, Charlotte, and Boston. But Washington, I think they've lost a lot. No Littleton. Brian, he needs to prove himself as a ball handler if he wants to take that next step and see them move forward. I didn't like how they had Brian playing hoops, but they don't have the biggest height. I'm worried about their beater core. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be overly critical of Washington at this time. I will say I'm so mad they got the I'm on a boat walkout song because I asked for that twice 2 years when I coached and I didn't get that. So like honestly, bleep this, but no, I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. We've gone too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already talked about Washington. I'm supposed to go on to the North Division and talk about Chicago. And guess what? I think Chicago is going to win the division. So I'm going to spend the rest of the time saying, oh my God, I'm the person who runs the Chicago account for MLQ. I didn't know that Nathan Digman had a broken thumb. Okay, so why wasn't Matthew Troy playing? If you are out there, you need to play like the player you are. It sucks Digman got hurt. I am sorry, Digman, for the shots I took at you. That is not fair, and I apologize, but I will take shots at whoever is running your MLQ. I don't care that your thumb was broken. You were out there playing your ass off. I want to see you prove it. Your turn.
The timer is shot. We're in trouble. You have a championship caliber roster again. Want to see you rise to the occasion. Looking forward to better production from Ken Murphy and Ben Peachy. Elite Edition and Matt Brown, obviously. And I think J. Cole will be a seamless championship level addition to this roster, just like he was when he won with Boston in 2019. All right, Cleveland, handful of pieces I like. Still not enough horses to win a game this year. I like Mosley as a head coach, but no horses. All right, you got to go quick on Cleveland.
I mean, Cleveland's got the best producer in the entire game with Rose. So, I mean, big win for Cleveland there. But other than that, I think it's going to be a toss-up. I will think they're going to get better than last year. They might win against Toronto.
Detroit, what do you got?
Oh, yeah, moving on to that. So, yeah, just because Leo isn't going to be there, I do really like their beating game. I do really like their defense. I do really like their size, and I do like their ability to pull flags. We saw that Leo was not the one seeking for them last year. You have a lot of those names coming back. Excited to see what number one hater Nick Love's going to do this year. And it's really going to come down to how they can get offense without Leo there. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I think even losing Leo Freed, this is a second place roster, or at least it would be if not for the pickups that Minneapolis made. I think they split that series with Detroit, only winning one game. Way too early prediction. Speaking of Minneapolis, love the Mayhew and Archibald additions. This is a team that gelled at the end of the year once they had a full team together, and they're still bringing that core mostly back, adding some studs. I expect them to play with an attitude and bounce back into second place in the division this year.
We need to remember last time Chicago and Minneapolis played, we thought we were going to have a big fight. They got walked up and down the field for 3 games. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I don't think Mejio is going to allow that to happen. I love Archibald to the team as well. You obviously got the reliable core, Goulet, Meyer. They are going to be a problem this year, I think, but I still don't know if it's enough to beat Chicago. And that means we're on to Toronto. I don't actually know what timer we need to be on time, Teddy, so apologies about this. So I'll be quick on Toronto. Again, their roster doesn't impress me besides Joanne Lamb. And besides that, I really don't have much other to say about them. So I hope that they prove me wrong, and all of you prove me wrong, because I am a grumpy old curmudgeon in this sport, so prove me wrong, because that's all I got for Toronto.
Yeah, I have. I liked Toronto's beating a lot of the year last year. I have in my notes they're basically Cleveland on steroids. I like the roster better than Cleveland, but I don't think they're good enough to beat anybody else besides them. We'll see if their beating can hang on to control and keep them in some other games. But I think it's a tough division for them this year. All right, on to the South. Austin. Freezing cold take, but they are not winning the division with this roster. Ella Jordan and Peter Lawrence have their work cut out for them. They're pretty lucky that the rest of the division outside of San Antonio took a step back this year.
Yeah, I really don't have much other to say to Austin other than it's nice to see you at the bottom of the division for once. I will not be shy about the fact as I've taken many losses from the Outlaws before, and it's not fun. So, even though none of the people that beat me are probably on this team anymore, hey, sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know. It's going to be a tough haul for the coaching staff and really the 12 people that seemingly are on this roster.
Yeah. All right, you got Houston?
Oh, yeah. Kansas City is, I think, a possibility maybe to be able to do it. I think it's one of these things just like Detroit, where are you going to get your offense with Mejio? I love the defense. I love the beating. I love their ability to be able to pull. They were able to do all these things, but that is because Ryan Mejio was running up and down the field, absolutely crushing it for them. Rookie of the year, possible MVP this year. But it's crazy to think that this team, if they can find another spark plug similar or a couple of players to step up and produce like Mejio, I think they could possibly be winners of a wide open division right now.
That's very interesting. You call this division wide open. I have a hard time doing that looking at these rosters. You mentioned Mejio, obviously, but the beating was really solid and played well as an entire unit, like all the way through. Like they had good beating depth all season, and that complemented their chasing and their flag pulling pretty well. I think you mentioned a spark plug. Not having Usami also kills them. That's a really tough third loss. But like we said, this team will go where their beating and seeking can take them, and we'll see if those units are up for the challenge. All right, now we're going to go to Houston. This is a team that should be playing with something to prove based on how last season ended and all those games that they let slip away. I'd expect nice steps forward from players like Acosta and Hughes. Unfortunately, they lost arguably the most important player in the history of their franchise and their best beater for the last 5 years inside the division. We'll see if they can step up, but this squad is unfortunately likely looking at third in the division at best, once again, by my count.
You know, you're reminding me a lot of things that I forgot with your take, Teddy, and my wide open division is really starting to make me feel like a fool right now. So what I will say is they got a lot of heart, and I am glad that Houston is actually a city people know, because what the hell is League City? And also the South Shore is in Massachusetts, not in Texas. So what are we supposed to call no, yeah, you can be something else. You can be like humid hell or whatever you want to call it.
Hey, that was my adopted home. Hey, wait a minute. Hey,
you got to say that for your people, Teddy. I understand. Texas is home. And now remembering key information as I'm looking at our final team that we are talking about today, the San Antonio Soldados, and they are gonna be a problem. I mean, they're getting Hayden Boys, they're getting Miguel. They had Miguel. They have Danny Williams coming back. They have a lot of the core coming back from last year, where they really are gonna probably win this division quite easily.
Yeah, they're obviously the best roster in the South. I agree with you there. To me, the question mark still facing them is it going to be enough to overcome the San Antonio culture or DNA or whatever it is of coming up short championship weekend? To be honest, until this franchise shows me otherwise, I can't pick them to get to the mountaintop. I think many of the players coming over from Austin left a lot to be desired last season. And for all these reasons, my way too early prediction for this squad is, despite all the talent, they will not make the final at this year's MLQ championship. And Ty, for all of the harumphing that I did, we beat the timer. So, like, that's not bad. That's a quick W. That's a quick W right there, Rose.
Let it run. Let it run for a little bit. We got time. I'm gonna
30 seconds left. Jeez Louise. Who do we owe time to? Ottawa, try your best. That's what I'm going to use this extra time for. Ottawa, try your best. I know that you will, and I do appreciate that. You always do.
Yeah, people I missed, I guess. Ogu is going to be a problem in the Seeker game, and I hope they don't have a home. Washington doesn't have another home series, and I don't flag run against him again. That was scary. And J. Cole, sorry I didn't mention you. And time.
Bang. Bang. Yeah. Easy.
We did it.
If you can't tell, we put the timer on the screen during production now. Shout out again to Rose. So we actually know how much time is left now.
We're innovating.
All right, Ty, I think we crushed that. I'd say to everybody, come back for next week. And throughout the preseason, we got a lot more good stuff. Over-unders, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that type of thing. More general debauchery. Ty, you got anything else?
I mean, hey, we might go golfing, so that could
Oh,
be fun.
yes.
We'll talk about that. But
Yes, tune
you
in for
know,
that. We don't know the editing time for that, but we'll see.
no, we'll see. We'll see. But it's been so nice being back, Teddy. It's going to be a fun summer coming up this year. But we got to close better than we did last time. So, any final thoughts from you, my friend?
I'm all set.
Well, that's the tea because Tyler and Teddy said so. And now we want you to stay around for a moment of silence for our friends in New Orleans who will no longer be with us.